In today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace the bearing in your vacuum pump. First, remove the two dowels. Remove the three 10mm bolts. Remove the backing plate, and then you want to remove all the vanes and the stuff on the inside of the vacuum pump. The vacuum pump has this red O-ring on the housing. Make sure you don't damage it, don't get any cleaning fluid on it because you have to reuse it and you can't buy them anywhere. Use a big set of circlip pliers to remove the circlip holding in the vacuum pump bearing. Remove the vacuum pump shaft. Remove the old bearing off the vacuum pump shaft. You'll need to put it in the vise and then using a copper hammer, tap it. Next, you have to put the new bearing onto the vacuum pump shaft. I usually use an old cam sprocket, or you can use a big socket that fits on the inside of the vacuum pump bearing. And then just tap it home nice and evenly with a copper hammer. Install the vacuum pump shaft back into the housing. Sometimes they're a little bit tight, so once it gets to this point you just go like turn it around like that, and then you should be able to eventually push it in. Next you need to install the circlip. The circlip has two sides. It has like a rounded side and a sharp side. The rounded side goes down towards the bearing. Make sure you check that circlip is on all the way. You can have one side not in all the way, so make sure you check that. Go push it down everywhere to make sure it's in properly. Next, install the rotor. One side will be shiny. The shiny side needs to go down. The vanes, one side will be on the inside. You can tell by that line that it was sitting on the inside of the rotor like that. So check for the line so to know which side is inside and outside. Apply grease to the outside of the vanes and then put them inside of the housing. The backing plate has a step. It sits on the inside of the vanes, so that's why it's very important you have grease on the outside of those vanes and have them all sticking to the outside of the housing, because if you don't, you'll try to put this backing plate on and then that step will crush and shatter some of the vanes. Install the backing plate. Before you install the screws, you can just hold down that backing plate and just go spin the vacuum pump. If it spins freely, you know you haven't crushed or pinched any of the vanes. Install the three bolts and then just back them off a quarter of a turn. That way the backing plate has movement so that you can get the dowels in. Install the dowels. You'll have to use a punch on this one. Once the dowels are in, you can torque the three bolts up properly to 10 Newton meters. I hope you guys found that video helpful, and if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below.